Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind, where we take the mystery out of mortgages and make dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Natalie Salins, a top 1% mortgage broker with 20 years of experience, based right here in sunny Los Angeles. If you've ever wondered about pre-approvals, appraisals, or what loan product is right for you, don't worry, I've got Mortgage on My Mind, so you don't have to. Each week, I'll bring you expert advice, real-life stories, and insider tips to help you navigate California's competitive real estate market with confidence. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or just curious about how it all works, this podcast is for you. So let's talk mortgages, demystify the process, and make your real estate goals a reality. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mortgage on My Mind. I'm here today with Glenn Shelhamer. Glenn is a top producing real estate broker and founder of the Shellhamer Real Estate Group based in Los Angeles. He is recognized for his expertise in complex transactions and development projects, certain type of escrows, tax-deferred exchanges, and such. But what I find most interesting is Glenn is a certified senior real estate specialist and is dedicated to helping older adults with their transition into suitable living environments. He is also deeply involved in community advocacy. So welcome, Glenn. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Natalie, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
Me.
You
left out that my first job was at Oyster Creek Inn in New Jersey. I was a hell of a dishwasher at 14.
Oh, wow. God, sorry, I forgot to add that.
Totally.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Where would you like to begin?
Yes, tell me a little bit about what interested you in becoming a certified senior real estate specialist, and what does it mean to be one, and what does it take? And yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, no, 100%. So it was all sparked when I had an opportunity to help an older woman in cognitive decline transition out of her home into a memory care community about 3 years ago. Through that process, I was working with a senior advisor who helped her find the right community. And that's a whole different sector of the elderly care. Our senior advisors who come into homes and they can help older folk and their family figure out what community is best suited for them. In my experience, it made the process of helping my client very challenging because there was another chef in the kitchen who sometimes was unreachable, and she was part of the care plan and the process of getting her out of the home, and she had dementia in late stages, so there was a lot of confusion and fear involved too, and it was just not easy, right? It just wasn't. Through that experience, I got the old butterflies in my stomach that I was doing something exciting and new, and I was really helping somebody. I've been practicing real estate for quite some time in Los Angeles. I'm a broker. I manage a team of agents, and we do a fair amount of business buying and selling. Good for me, good for us. We help a lot of people do that. But helping an older woman who really needed something, that was just a different thing.
Yeah.
It got me thinking, and it got me looking at how this whole thing worked and why was it so hard, and it didn't feel like it needed to be. So I took a clipboard, like I do. I'm very old school. I'm 46, but I lean back into analog a lot. So I like to write things down and have a clipboard and notes. And I
I
went
write everything as well. All of my loans that I'm doing, they're
a
all
dying breed, Natalie.
pad of paper. It's like a dinosaur. Yeah.
Dying breed. So I took my clipboard and I went to 16 communities around Los Angeles, most of which were national community chains, some mom and pops, and they're all very welcoming. They're willing to, some of them even brought me in for lunch. And we sat down and they explained to me the whole process of how the intake works and where their pain points are. Then I went to some accredited continuing education courses for the communities around the country just to listen to really what was going down. Like, how does this whole thing work? What is this industry? And I see that it's about to explode. We're about to see the biggest movement and sale of real estate in the residential space that we ever have, ever in the world, because of the baby boomers. Right now, it's happening. It's going to be in the cover of all the newspapers in the next 10 years about all this stuff that's happening, how quickly there's not enough communities. And I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole, but through that whole
No, but I
process,
can see that. Yeah.
it's totally happening. And so through that process, I realized that, man, it is so tough for these older folk to, and I went through it with my own family, to get them to be not only comfortable, but confident with the idea that life isn't going to end when you move into a senior community. It's just the next chapter, and it can make your life so much more enjoyable. A lot of the stuff that you really can't do anymore, take care of the house the way that you used to, live your lifestyle the way that you used to. It just doesn't work. And sometimes we see what we want to see, not what's really there. So,
Right.
with all of that, I started to put this idea together on holy cow, like, why don't we just replace the senior advisor who just points to a community with a real estate agent who also brings in the stager and works with the moving companies and does all these other things that are outside of the scope of marketing and negotiating, and just make it a one-stop shop and have the people talk about the sale of the home, which is really the elephant in the room, in the beginning, not at the very end, after they've been drugged through communities that they really don't want to be at, and they're really concerned about their family heirlooms and everything else that's going on back at the house. It seems like it's
Right.
a million pounds, and that's what they just are just ignoring. They don't want to deal with that, but they know it's there. We've designed a system to get to these home owners early enough to where we can provide useful information, tools, and collaborate with them early enough to where those conversations can start happening and real estate agents can nurture these sellers at an early stage. So what we've done is we've built a website that's launching right now. Think of Zillow. You know how on Zillow you go there and there's residential homes for sale? So we've built an incredible website with a built-in mini CRM that showcases all the senior communities,
Huh.
independent living, assisted living, and memory care. So the user will come on, they'll be looking through the communities, and when they click for more information, they're going to get connected with one of our local senior real estate specialists that we call senior advisors. And they're there to listen to what's going on. What's up? Do you need in-home care? Are you thinking about staying? Do you need a reverse mortgage? If that's the case, to pay for it. Once
Right.
that's exhausted, are we going to do a jumbo reverse? Or are you then going to consider transitioning out? And if you are, what kind of communities are you looking for? Let's start setting those up now. Let's start touring around. Let's keep in touch with people. Let's drop you off cookies and an upside down cake and remind you that you're not alone because your kids live on the East Coast and your home is here in LA. So it's a whole different way and a holistic approach to helping a lot more people before they even know that they really need it. Yeah.
And they find you, but before they know they need it, how do they find you? What?
Oh, it's crazy. I've been inundated. Like we just have some simple hold pages up that are designed that have no marketing, that have no ads running, and I get leads every single day. And
Wow.
it's like the way the leads come in, it's just mind blowing. The people that are in trouble, like they need help right now. One guy reached out a week ago in Burbank from I guess it was like an outpatient something or other. He has cancer. He's in really rough shape. He owns a 4-bedroom home and he's got to sell it. And he just doesn't have the energy, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know where to begin. And they're just finding us online. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Interesting. And so they find basically you'll go in, you'll meet them at their home and then take it from there with whatever their needs are.
That's what I was doing earlier on, but now we've set up a whole process to where we're sending the agents directly. We're not going ourselves. Yes, my agents are helping, but they're pretty busy doing their own business, doing our business at the Shellhamer Group. So
Sure.
I'm handing out referrals right now. So as the leads are coming in, somebody from our team on the Blue Jay Cares team is reaching out to local referral partners. And they're just giving them the tools that they need, introducing them to the prospects, matching them up, and we're learning more each day. We haven't soft launched yet. Southern California is going to be our market. We're launching with a little over 10,000 senior communities here.
And that's Blue Jay Cares?
Yeah. Yeah,
So tell us a little bit about that. That's your company?
it is.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So that's I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth.
No, it's good. I just am trying to
Yeah.
categorize
So
so
when
Blue
you
Jay
said,
Cares is your website, but it's a particular website. It's not your Shellhamer.
no, that's a
Got it.
different, a
Got it.
whole different company. And,
Yes,
and
totally.
you said you go into the homes. I was having my agents participate in helping me, but it's just become too much. Like they can't be everywhere. And
Right.
they're at their bandwidth with doing their business, buying and working with buyers and sellers, as you know, how time consuming it can be through the
Totally.
transactions. And I know that people say that what we do doesn't matter and we have no value and that whole rhetoric, but we can go down that path another time. It takes quite a bit of time sometimes working with, especially first time home buyers that are nervous. And the smarter you are, sometimes you talk yourself out of something great. Like I was on the
Yeah,
phone with two PhDs earlier this morning, and they were going down the rabbit hole of spreadsheets of what ifs. And I had to tell them that act of God is just part of it. There's no equation. So these types,
totally.
these
It's
types
true.
of
Sometimes we say
conversations.
it's a risky thing, but you jump
Yeah.
in because
Oh, such is life.
there's risk in everything. Yeah,
You want a sure thing? Here's a blanket. I'm going to put you in the corner. You can be safe, and I'll bring you some soup. Oh, yeah.
totally.
So yeah, so Blue Jay Cares is we're soft launching now. We have agents who are participating on a referral basis. We're collecting as much info as we can from them, the objections that they're dealing with on the on in the home level, most of which I don't think it's going to be too far apart from what I was dealing with when I was doing it. So I think I'm preparing them, but this is brand new. So we're going to be rolling with the punches.
Interesting. So cool. And
Yeah.
so what like unique challenges do you think that seniors face when making these kind of transitions?
I think the biggest one is change. Just change.
Totally.
They sometimes they don't seem to, at least the folks that we've had the pleasure of being able to help so far, it's the pebbles that they stumble over. It's not really the big stuff. It's what to do with the hope chest. And they lock in. And it's almost like it's a distraction and they're trying to hold on to things to distract them from making decisions. And that's probably been the most challenging part. And so, how we've been dealing with that or figuring out the solution is just turning on as many lights as we can and showing them that all the possibilities and putting them in a position to feel empowered. Here it is. You got to pick what you want to do. And that's been pretty successful.
Great. Interesting.
Yeah.
So getting back to, so you were mentioning before we turned the recording on, something about like how what you're creating is going to really disrupt the market or
Oh, totally. It's going to be awesome. And it's awesome.
so what does that mean exactly and
Well,
why?
right now, the senior communities have their two biggest pain points. One is they pay a real hefty referral fee to the senior advisors, like companies called like A Place for Mom or senioradvisor.com or Care Patrol, or there's a dozen of them, Purple Doors. Their fee is the first month's rent. So if you move somebody into a $6,000 community or a $10,000 community or a $15,000 community, that's what the fee is that they collect from the move in. Now, the problem with that, oh, that's one of the pain points. The other one is retention on the entry level for the folks that are helping out on the ground floor in the communities, real high turnover rate. These are the two biggest pain points for them because then they got to onboard, they got to deal with the training again, and it's a time suck. Not very productive. And then the residents don't like that they always see different faces too. They want
Right.
some consistency. We've solved the referral model with a subscription base, which is going to be a fraction of what the referral fee model is. And we have so many leads coming in that we're going to be able to funnel them over, and it's going to be more of a collaboration and not a gun stick up to get paid a referral fee with accounts receivable.
What does that mean, a collaboration?
It's just we're taking the money bit out. We're not going to talk about it with each person that we bring you. It's just not going to be that anymore. It's going to be a reasonable subscription model where you get a little badge on the website. You may get priority positioning, and the leads will come directly into you through the CRM. And more than likely, there'll be a senior advisor that will also use the same portal, and everybody's collaborating on a dashboard. It makes everything very simple and clean. And all the information can be ported out into your own CRM or however you want to market if you want to do things on your own. But how we're disrupting the market is changing it. You're not going to have to pay out $10,000 a person or $5,000 a person anymore. It's going to be a much less expensive monthly subscription fee for both the realtors on the realtor side and for communities on the community side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And you're actually setting them up with the people. Meaning you're not just a real estate specialist in this case.
Not at all.
Got it. Okay. Interesting.
So I am in the sense of I I am a real estate specialist, and that's why I have the skill set to create this whole process. And it's just taking the process that I would do myself and scaling it in a way that it's efficient for limitless amounts of people to follow a checklist step by step on best practices on how to do things.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then you ultimately, if and when they leave their home to go to an actual care center, you would then, of course, have the referral to sell their home.
Not me, no. So Blue Jay
Okay.
Cares is going to be a lead gen for communities on this hand and for senior advisors on this hand who are real estate agents who are senior certified real estate agents. So there's two people here. There's actually a third tier too that we haven't spoken about, which is the in-home care providers. That's a different thing. We don't have to get into that, but it functions the same way.
I know a
Provide.
lot of people will have like actual in-home care insurance. Like my mother has in-home care insurance.
Yep.
Specifically so that she doesn't have to worry about.
Awesome. Yeah. And whatever's covered, and this is all part of the discovery calls too, right? So like when people reach out to us, they either need in-home care, they need a community right away, or they need to sell their house right away, or two of those things right away. We've done a couple of leases because it's made more sense. A few people have thought that they need to sell, but we showed them ways that they can keep their home and they can rent it and then they can still get done what they want to get done. But in most cases, the majority of the people that we've had an opportunity to help, most of their wealth is in their home. Need that money for the next chapter of their life.
And then for people who get a reverse, let's say people want to keep the house for the children or whatever reason, they could essentially get a reverse mortgage to
100%.
pay for the other home, the home that they go to.
100%. Yep. No, or they could stay
or for in-home care
in their house. Yeah. And some of them do until they realize how expensive it gets so quickly. Within just a couple of years, they're usually ready to sell.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. That's been my experience so far. There were a few reverse mortgages that were done about 24 months ago. They're in conversations with what to do next because it's just getting very expensive. They're just needing.
Yeah.
It started with a few hours a day and now it's like around the clock and it's just.
Yeah. People don't, reverse mortgages have a very bad rap, of course, but mostly because I think people think that the moment you have a reverse mortgage, you lose the rights to the house, which is not true.
Yeah, I know. It's not the case.
It's really not the case. The reason that reverse mortgages aren't necessarily the best financial decision is because they're compounding, right? So it's like negative amortization. So because they're not being paid monthly, depending if they get paid monthly, but most of the time they're not getting paid monthly. And because of that, the mortgage is getting larger, which means the interest is compounding, and then the mortgage is getting bigger and bigger every single month. So a couple years in on a reverse mortgage
That's when you're like, oh wow,
doesn't look as good as it did the couple years prior.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it can be most of the time I deal with people not getting a reverse mortgage. I deal with people trying to get out of a reverse mortgage.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it becomes honestly, so reverse mortgages, they're there because there really isn't income to qualify for a standard loan. So getting out of a reverse mortgage just really means trying to find somebody who you can get on the loan with them that can help them qualify for a standard loan. And it's basically like a refi. You cash them out of that, you pay off that reverse mortgage, get them out of it. And then normally do like a cash out and give them whatever money that they need
Right.
and then put their kids on the loan or on the home as well on title. That happens quite a bit. So let's switch gears a little bit. Thank you for all of that information.
Totally. Yeah.
Super interesting.
It's just to backpedal a tiny bit since we were
Yeah,
talking about the senior advisor position. How it's different is older demographic, they tend to move a little bit slower.
sure.
And they want a bit more conversation. And sometimes it's a bit of companionship through the process.
Yeah.
And if you can, enjoy and embrace that process, they got a lot of great stories. They got a lot of good life lessons. And you can make a real difference in somebody's life at the same time. And they give you a lot back. If you're considering becoming a realtor or anybody that's listening,
Hmm.
it's a lot of opportunity working with older adults that need to figure out how to transition out of their home. So
Yeah.
there you have it.
Very good. Thank you. It's true. My clients that have done reverse mortgages, it normally takes months of having to really have them understand it all and digest it and feel comfortable with it and things like that.
Sure.
For sure. For sure. So, would you say you're more of a buyer agent or seller, or because you have a team, you do all of it?
I would say that we do all of it. Yeah, that's the short answer. I started my career, like probably most agents, working with buyers until you have opportunities to then list. And usually, in my experience, to be a good listing agent, you really need a process. You really need a proven track record. You need to be able to show, how you're going to get from here to here. Where are the trap doors? How are we going to set you up correctly? And that
Mhm.
just takes time. So you either need to have a really great mentor that wants to see you win, or you got to wait until your buyers become sellers one day.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
And just curious about your idea of the market and buyers right now. Have you found buyers edging out of the market because the instability in rates and the economy? And have you found that in LA as well, some people have been pausing a little bit?
Yeah. Yes and no. And why that is folks that are really plugged into international affairs, or if they're plugged in globally in different ways, they've paused if they're not in line with the current administration, national
Yeah,
administration. We've had some pause there. Other than that, it's been business as usual, really. Folks are more comfortable with what the rate is now. People
yeah,
reluctant to jump back in, that the ones that were still in the market when rates were at the bottom of the barrel a few years ago.
totally.
It took me a while to get comfortable with my next home is going to be 7%. I want it to be 2.5% like it is at the house I'm at right now.
I know.
Oh,
Golden handcuffs is
yeah, because this is what I deserve, because this is what I know. Yeah, I had to go through it. I'm also human.
totally. I always say nobody asked for that. Nobody
Yeah,
needed it. Nobody wanted it. Like the fact that they just, because of COVID, dropped rates to zero. That whole thing was so hasty and
it was
crazy. And just,
wild. It was a wild time, man.
I know.
But I took advantage of it like a lot of people did, and people are reluctant to sell. We have several clients that would be sellers right now, and we're renting their houses. I've done more leases in the last year than I've done in my entire career. Not personally, I have somebody on my team that handles the leases,
Sure.
but it's unreal. I know how to lease houses now. I mean,
Yeah, I've done more equity lines in the past year than I've done in my entire career.
it's a trip.
Everybody wants that equity line now. Everybody wants to keep it and just build. They need another bedroom and they're not going to sell to buy a new one. They're just going to build another bedroom.
Totally.
Equity lines have been insane.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But then there's a larger group of people that are buying and selling, and people need housing and they want to own. And
Yes.
the first time buyers that are coming in now, it's business as usual.
Yeah. And I've also been finding that the people who have rates in the threes, the twos was like just a few months where rates were in the twos. But I did jump on that. But most people are in the threes of some sort. And I do feel like a lot of them that are edging off the sideline and are allowing themselves to recognize that, yes, maybe we're in the mid to high sixes right now, but this could be a place that's only going to come down from here.
Here's what I got to think about. I got to flip it around a little bit. We have to be grateful And I'm talking to myself right now because I tell myself this. I told my wife this a few weeks ago when I was bitching and moaning. I said, I need to be grateful that I have an opportunity to go into business with the bank at 6 or 7%.
Yeah.
If I was in the UK or if I was in Canada, we're talking about 5-year variable rates. And then I don't know what my next rate's going to be if I even qualify for a loan at that point. Am I going to be able to keep my home? I don't know. Or let's go to Japan or some areas in South America where it's incredibly difficult to
Yeah.
get a loan at all. Guess what, folks? If you're poor or if you come from a family that doesn't have means, most likely that's who you are forever.
Yeah.
Right? There's no opportunity there. And there's other different loan products that suck in Spain and in different areas of the world. We live in an amazing place in the USA where we can go from nothing and have everything.
Totally.
We decide that we're willing to do it and really have
Yeah.
a plan and go after it. 6, 7%. That's what's up. And I get to
It's where it's at. Exactly.
do what I want.
It's better than the 7 to 8% that we were at like a year and a half ago. So at least there's,
Yeah. There's good opportunities everywhere. Rather than focusing on the interest rate, why don't we focus on what the plan is? What is it you really want? Oh, Glenn, I really want to be able to buy a duplex where I can live for free. And okay, cool. Let's try to find that. Let's try to figure out what that looks like. It may not, it may not be living for free, but I can tell you what, partner, you're going to be moving towards it.
exactly. And with the tax write-off and the property taxes that you can write off, and when all of that takes its place, even if you're paying just a little bit more than rent, you are winning. Like winning.
You're paying yourself.
Especially in Los Angeles when appreciation is just built in to the purchase.
The house that I'm at right now, beautiful property. We bought a 120-year-old home that was a dump.
I was going to ask, is that really your backdrop?
Yeah, this is my patio. This is where I
Okay.
work.
I was like, I can't tell if he's in front of some sort of
Yeah, no.
moving screen or something.
No, this is part of my backyard.
Oh, got it. Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
We're in Highland Park, 2 blocks off of the strip, right behind the bowling alley off of
Okay.
Figueroa.
Totally.
So from my back, I live on a big slope. So on the back pad, we've got the downtown skyline. We've got all the stuff from my kids' bedrooms. I put 10-foot privacy hedges around it. We really put a lot of love into this home. It wasn't anything what it is now when we bought it 7.5 years ago. And I didn't want this house. I didn't want it. It's not on the street I want. I'm the best house on this block. And that was one of the boxes I really wanted checked, and I didn't get it. And by the way, if anyone that's listening, you never get everything you want when you're buying a property. So you make it what you want it to be. So I didn't see it. My wife saw it, and this property has doubled in value. It literally has doubled in value. It would behoove anybody that's on the fence, hemming and hawing if it's a good time to buy. If you're going to live in the property and this is part of like your plan, yesterday was the right time to buy. You're not married to the interest rate or the loan. Like it's gonna change.
Yeah.
You can talk to Natalie and that I'm sure she'll jam you up the next time a better deal comes out for you to refinance.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because when I bought, it took me years to buy. I was buying investment properties because I wanted to get in, but I couldn't find, I had a cush rental in Silver Lake. And
Kiss of death.
Because of that. I come from New York, and when I came out here, and I lived and I own there still, but I have a 388 square foot long
$7 million hole. Got it.
I call it my long hallway. But when I got out here, everybody was telling me to go to Silver Lake because I'm from New York and everything. And they were like, at that time, this is aging myself. I drove around looking for rental signs because it was that and like West Side Rentals. That's what there was out here.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I used to have a Thomas guide, okay?
No, me too. I love the time. I memorized the Tommy Scott. I could tell you like G6 for that's where you're
Totally.
Yeah, totally. But I got this place. I'm pointing because I live across the way from it now, but
So
I got
cute.
this rental, freaking gorgeous, 24-foot ceilings, amazing views of sunset, like the sunset and the Hollywood sign. It was just
Nice.
ridiculous, impossible to move out of. So I wanted to still invest and earn appreciation. So I was like, I can't leave this place. It's amazing. I think I'm just gonna start buying like rental property and stuff as I should, because that's what I do. I'm a mortgage broker. When I finally bought, I bought in 2015 for myself, for my primary, across the reservoir on Salt Lake.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I remember in 2015 being pissed, being like, I cannot believe I'm buying now at the top of the market. Not only am I at the top of the market, Silver Lake is at its max. Like Silver Lake is at the top. It
You're in
was,
Ivanhoe right there, right?
was that?
In the Ivanhoe School District right there.
I'm in the Ivanhoe School District as
It's
well.
even more expensive.
15% more, whatever. But I remember being like, I cannot believe this is when I buy. I should know better than this, that I waited till now to buy. And I'm just going to do it because I can afford it and whatever, but I'm going to jump in and I'm going to do it. That was 2015. My property now has more than doubled.
I bet.
So you think you're at the top of the market.
Always. You always think that way.
And you think you're buying at the top, but you are buying at the top because that's where you're sitting right now. And tomorrow is higher, and the next day is higher. And then, so it's this interesting. Thank God I bought what I did because it's incredibly affordable when I think about what this place would cost me now. You know, it's just such an interesting. And 7 years before, when the seller that sold it to me, when the owner then bought it in 2008, he bought it for half of what he sold it to me. So when I was like, why did I buy this 7 years ago? It's even though I'm in the business, you still run those stupid like whys that aren't relevant at all. But it is something that as a buyer, you just do it. I don't know why.
It's that you bring up such an important point. And if we talked about nuggets in like podcasts, here comes one, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
It's always going to be too expensive. It's never going to be what you want and a great deal that you can't believe and you're going to get. That's a unicorn. Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
When it checks most of your boxes, you're in the right spot.
Exactly. There's like a few non-negotiables that you may have, but other than that, I say you jump in, and not just jump in, you jump into the asset of it. That's what I've been telling clients a lot lately. And then you
Totally.
get to live in it as well, but it's this asset that you're holding also. You're living in it and holding an asset. So it's both things that make purchasing so important.
Feels warm and fuzzy. I like it when you say those words together.
Yes, totally. Totally. So, what else? I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience today?
I think we covered a bunch. Let's just go back over the buying and selling. You want to work with a quality team. If you're looking to purchase a property, put a team together. Work with a talented mortgage advisor that understands what's going on, can show you the different loan products down to the PITI, the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Understand it all clearly.
Yeah.
And then once you understand your buying power, then you shift gears and you can work with a talented real estate agent or broker who can open the necessary doors, that knows how to negotiate, knows how to inspect the property, knows how to interpret what's going on, renegotiate, communicate with the lender if there's any credits or a price reduction, and have a support team around you that really has their eye on the ball. If you can do that, you can get what you want.
Exactly, for sure. And it's the same thing like what we're saying, right? So we always say, I'm having a lot of people lately like backing out due to inspections and stuff. And I think it's because people have this like weird underlying fear that maybe it's not the right time right now. But I tell clients all the time that like a house is a living thing, and it's like a body, right? So you keep it healthy and it'll last forever. It'll be really, maybe not.
Yeah.
And
So I was dealing with that today, actually, in one of our transactions, and how I usually approach that. Okay, number one, if people cancel because of property inspections, usually there's an unreasonable seller, properly disclose the property, or there's some bad agents involved. And when I say bad, I don't necessarily mean that they're doing something malevolent, but they may just suck at their job, and they may not be good. And then buyers get scared and they just walk. What I always ask folks is, are you in love with the house? Are we in the right house? Because
right,
usually people cancel because it's not the right house. And they'll use something else as an excuse. If they don't get something, they're just going to walk away. But really, we're not in the right house.
right.
So I go down that path first. And if we are in the right house, then I show them that it isn't rocket science. We're dealing with what could be wrong: foundation, drainage, intake lines, outtake lines, roof, termite. I mean, that's it, folks. Other than that, it's cosmetic. All of that stuff is curable. We've got wonderful people to work with. We've got a
Right.
great vendor list, and we can make all those problems go away as long as the seller is willing to make the necessary concessions.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's funny because I haven't really been seeing a ton of things happening on appraisals lately, knock on wood, but it does seem more like it's an inspection thing lately. I don't know why, you
with the
know.
cancellations, you mean?
Yeah, with people getting colder feet and
Sellers think that they have the Taj Mahal. Sellers are still, the stigma out there is still that it's a really hardcore sellers market, which,
it's not.
and so there's that. And this is like earlier when we were talking about the interest rates. Like we're still early, and the sellers, the word on the street, when they really see how many listings are canceling, when they really see how much inventory buyers
How
have
many days on market?
days on market, they're going to get a little bit more reasonable. Like we're in a transaction right now. I think it's one of the first ones in my career where I am, I was the listing agent on this one too, but a seller accepted a selling contingency of a buyer's property. And who the hell knows when that's going to happen? Yes, we have a plan. And yes, we were able to show a timetable of when it's going to happen and how we think
Sure.
it's going to happen. But holy cow, like this is stuff that happens in like,
That you just never, yeah.
not here.
I just closed one. And it was VA to boot, but they sold because they had to sell the VA home to get the new VA home, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
38-day transaction in total from
Good
when
for
we got into
you. Look
escrow.
at you, Natalie. Super Natalie.
No, I got docs out in 13 days, but that's how we do that. That's how my company does things.
That's good.
That's how we work. But it was more waiting for that transaction was also happened very quickly. They were in escrow in 7 days or 8 days, and then their lender was able to close in 24, something like that. So
Nice. The
I was
stars
like,
aligned.
that was the nicest contingent offer I've ever seen go through.
That
Yeah.
was cool. But it's still, these are new things. Like,
New thing. Yeah.
writing things in offers right now that I never would have, we're accepting things that I never would have considered even looking at. When you've got 15, and it still happens. Let's not kid ourselves. Like we had a listing a few months ago that had 26 offers on it. It's still happening,
For
but
sure,
not
especially in
like,
certain areas.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just not like it was. But it's a good time. Okay, here it is. It's a really great time to be a real estate agent if you have value. And I'm sure it's the same for you being a mortgage advisor. I don't know if everybody's still running to get their license the way they were 8 years ago.
No.
Free money out here. We've had more buyers and sellers come to us recently that have fired their agents to interview us than I've had since the beginning of my career too, which is something new, where people will call me straight up and be like, I was working with someone, but I've decided to interview some more people. How do you do what you do? So these are new conversations, and we share
I
our
think
process
I think that is.
because buyers and sellers are wising up. They're realizing now that they're asking questions probably like, how are we going to do this whole thing? And if you're not able to show them in a snapshot how the whole thing works,
Yeah.
people are moving on. And you
Yeah.
can't I don't walk into listing appointments anymore with shiny postcards of my listings right down the street that I sold. And look I got 200,000 over asking. I don't go down that path anymore. I bring with me a plan and I say, hey, this is how we do what we do. And here's the links to it. And this is how it works. And if you want to do this is how, these are where the trap doors are. What do you want to do? And that's been very effective.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. It's just a different time. So it's great because if you really know what you're doing, you're gonna have a fair amount of business. And more importantly, you're gonna be able to help a lot of people and be of service.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Cool.
Awesome. This was so nice. Thank you so much for being on and sharing your knowledge and your specialty. It's been very enlightening and super informational. Thank you so much. We're going to put all of your information on the bottom and where the audience can reach Glenn. And I look forward to maybe speaking with you again. I'd love to know
Are
how your website, what's that?
you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram. We're pretty active over there. We
Same with I do silly videos all the time.
okay. It's been a really good forum for us for connecting with buyers and sellers. We have quite a few people that come through our Instagram channel where they have
Bad.
a lot of questions about, they may not be ready to buy or sell today, but it's fun. We're able to really share what we do and what we know. And
And you should have a Blue Jay Cares as well.
we do.
Because
That's
because that's like a whole different type of information source for people.
yeah, we shot some really great infomercials for Blue Jay Cares recently. They're just awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
so cool. That is so exciting.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it. All right, wonderful. Thank you everybody for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Ba-dum-bum.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage on My Mind. If you're ready to start your mortgage journey or have any questions, I'd love to help. With 20 years of experience, I make the process as simple and stress-free as possible. Check the show notes for my contact info, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm Natalie Salins, here to help make your real estate dreams a reality.